Hello and welcome everyone to the Witless Weebs podcast. This will be our first episode. I am Silver and I am joined by my wonderful co-host.
Luden, hello, I'm Luden. um,
Today we're you can
y-
talk Ruben. It's
no,
fine.
no, it's okay. I just stumbled into it. Like,
Okay,
keep
okay. No,
talking.
you're good, you're good, you're good, you're good, you're good.
Off to a
As I
great
was
start.
saying, yeah, no, this is perfect, I think. It's fun. As I was saying, this will be our first episode. We just kind of like for you guys, the audience, to get to know us. We're both pretty big anime fans and just fans of like anime stuff in general. So we'll probably talk a lot about that, but other stuff too. Looting.
Yeah. Like for now, like we're not 100% sure what we want to talk about, but probably like we focus on a lot of our interests in general, like anime, manga, games, for example. Like we're also kinda into VTubers both. I don't know how much we can talk about that specifically because
Yeah.
like there's not much to talk about if you're not a content
Hey,
creator,
catch that
obviously.
new stream?
What?
Did you catch that latest Gura stream? That was crazy, man.
Like yeah, that's probably the only VTuber related stuff we could talk about or like we are qualified to talk about. But like
We could maybe talk about trauma or something that comes up, but
yeah,
uh, I also don't want to like get too much into drama on this podcast.
yeah. And like
Uh,
but like that's just
Go ahead.
yeah, but it's yeah. We have to get used to this whole thing. Like we have
Yeah,
to
yeah,
like get into the flow and stuff.
yeah.
Um,
We'll get used to it.
yeah, we will get used to
Um,
it eventually, and I hope it gets better.
I think it's going great so far. We both have a lot of similar interests, so we'll probably just talk about whatever is currently interesting us at the
Yeah,
time. We also have like some things that we don't fully like as much as the other. Like
hmm,
I couldn't care for Kingdom Hearts, but
shame on
I'm
you.
pretty sure Luden's a huge fan of it. So
Shame on you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Uh,
Yeah, but like also
but yeah,
we.
so
Okay,
go
yeah,
on.
no,
Go
no,
on.
okay,
Speak.
like
Please speak over me. It's fine.
we
That's
we
the point of a podcast, I think.
um we
We're going to
both
speak over each other.
yeah, we both don't have much like experience in podcasting, like or like at all.
I've been on one before.
I've been on two. um,
See, you have more experience than me.
yeah, and like we also just want to keep the thing equal. Like we don't want to like say like yeah, Silver is the main host, I'm the co-host, or the other way around. Like we both want to
Yeah,
keep it equal. So yeah,
I know I can talk a lot. I know I might try and talk over Luden sometimes, but I want to avoid trying to hog the spotlight.
yeah. But like, that's the problem. We both talk very much, and like we
Yeah,
both like talking a lot. So
which is kind of why I'm saying just whenever you want to speak over me, and I'll kind of do the same, not out of rudeness, just out of we both don't want to let the other go on for 30 minutes and just not really
yeah,
just go like, yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, that's great.
yeah. Also, I think in the future we will also go into this with like a few topics. Like if we have like, I don't know,
Yeah,
maybe I have read a manga I really want to recommend, so we go into it and like talk maybe about that for a while or stuff like that.
yeah.
Um,
I was also thinking we could do like just topics of like recent anime news sometimes,
mhm.
or like a show that we're both interested in got announced. Maybe we can like both make each other watch something and
Yeah,
like discuss what we saw.
yeah,
Stuff like that could be cool. I was also thinking tier lists,
yeah,
so we could do those from time to time. Maybe some games too.
yeah. But
Uh,
we worked it out once we get going, I think.
yeah,
Um,
we'll figure it out as we go. Yeah,
yeah. And like if you have recommendations for us, what we could talk about,
yeah.
and like
Definitely leave comments on like what we should do.
yeah, because like we are open to pretty much anything as long as it's somewhat in the space we are knowledgeable in. So
Yeah,
like with stuff we can talk about. So yeah,
yeah.
that's definitely
We're
a
not
thing.
going to talk about Sweden's current eco-political climate because neither of us are very knowledgeable at that At least
Yeah.
I don't think Luden is. I know I am.
No, I'm certainly not knowledgeable.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I'm knowledgeable in some like climate stuff and like um world economics and shit, but I don't think we should talk about stuff like
Yeah,
that.
it's
Like
good to
that's
have
not.
general knowledge of that stuff, but
Yeah,
as the name says, we're weebs. We're kind of going to stick to like maybe not just exclusively like Japanese and like weeb content, but like that'll be the general vibe at least
yeah, that
for
would be the
most of it, I
main
think.
focus, and like
Yeah,
maybe also like just games in general because I think we're both really
yeah,
big gamers and like we
yeah.
played a lot of games. We have at least I
You're
know.
more into
Yeah,
you're more into JRPGs than I am, but we're both like pretty big gamers,
yeah, but
I'd
like
say. I
that's the thing. I don't think I'm like extremely big into JRPGs. Like I'm definitely it's like my favorite
you're
genre,
I
but
think you're into a couple and you're just like really into those few.
yeah, that's the thing. Like I'm into a couple and I'm like extremely into those few. Just like
I,
you said, it's
I know I'm more of a like a FromSoft gamer and like I also play like a lot of shooters.
yeah.
So
That's the thing. Like
we,
I'm
we
not.
play mostly different games.
Yeah, I don't play much shooter games and stuff. But
Uh,
I,
I do play other games besides FromSoft and shooters, but those are like the probably most the biggest ones or the most time consuming ones, I'd say.
yeah, like I also like play like I don't play it as much because there are no games right now like 3D jump and runs and collectathons and stuff like that. I really like
Yeah,
those, but like there are none to play at
yeah,
the
that's
moment.
fair. I've never been that big into them. Isn't there a new Mario game coming out though?
No,
No, I thought there
no,
was.
there is a new Mario and Luigi game coming out, but
Okay, what's the difference?
those are RPGs.
I mean, I understand. Oh, they're RPGs. I
Yeah,
didn't know
yeah.
that.
Like they're kind of like Paper Mario a bit.
Okay, I've never been into the Mario lore. I saw the movie, but that's about it.
Yeah,
I haven't really played the games.
yeah. Mario and Luigi, like the Mario and Luigi game series, is one of my favorite game series of all time. Actually,
Mhm.
like I really, it's a funny thing because a friend of mine is also a really big fan of Paper Mario, and they kind of go hand in hand. Like they're
Yeah.
really similar, but also kind of different because like the
Mhm.
general vibe is the same gameplay wise, but they play differently. And like the newer
Yeah.
Paper Mario games are shit, but we don't talk about that. Um,
I haven't played any of them, so I wouldn't know.
yeah, but like it's really cool that there's a new Mario and Luigi game coming out because for a while we thought the series is kind of dead and like
Yeah, I saw a lot of people excited for it.
yeah
I'm like happy for you guys, but I'm personally not that interested. For me, all that I've really been into recently is Elden Ring. I have like 400 hours on that game, so it's kind of crazy.
yeah
Uh, and now it's going to be even more. So we'll see how that goes. I'm enjoying the DLC so far.
that's good. Like
Yeah, it's been fun. It's definitely been as hard as people have been saying. That's been like a bit of a point of contention where people are like, "Oh, this DLC's too hard," and it's been getting some bad reviews for it. But
but
it's
like
like,
isn't that the point of FromSoft games? Like they're
yeah,
supposed to be hard? Like
yeah,
and
I. That's the thing. Um, with Elden Ring, it's like very easy to like find ways to cheese bosses and like just make the game easy.
mhm.
But with the DLC, it's been harder for people to do that, especially since it's like new and people don't know those like cheese ways to do stuff yet.
Yeah.
So people are just like, "Oh, this is too hard."
But like I don't know, it's just weird because people are just
Yeah, no,
complaining and saying
that is
like
the point.
the
That is the
game
point.
series that's known for being hard is hard. Wow.
I
like
know it's crazy to me. I feel like a lot of people were just like they got into Elden Ring a little bit after it came out. Once like the popularity was at its height, they found all the easy ways to beat the game, and now they're upset that they're actually playing what the game was supposed to be like. That's how it feels to me.
yeah, yeah, definitely. It's kind of weird.
But yeah, that's been my known of gaming news. I don't really know if there was anything else really that big to come out recently or like
But like
noteworthy.
there was the Nintendo Direct which announced a bunch of cool stuff.
Yeah,
Um
they announced the Mario Mario and Luigi. Did they announce
Yeah,
anything else
yeah. They announced a
of like
new.
note?
They announced the Zelda game.
Oh, cool. Oh
um,
yeah, I heard about that. With like you could actually play as Zelda.
yeah, that looks really fun because
Yeah,
I've
that's a cool concept.
yeah, because we've been waiting for a new 2D Zelda game for a long
Hmm.
while now,
Well,
and
it's gonna be
like
2D.
yeah, it's a 2D.
That's
Um,
cool. That's cool.
we've waited for a 2D Zelda for a long while now, and like it looks really fun. Like
Hmm.
there are some people complaining already that like Zelda isn't using a sword, but instead she's using magic. But I'm like, isn't that like isn't that like what we
That sounds
want? Like
sounds cool.
yeah, because
It's
like
like it differentiates her from Link, so they're not like the
yeah,
same gameplay.
exactly. Like if we get a Zelda game, I don't want her to play like Link because then I could
Yeah,
just yeah yeah like this
yeah, no, that's weird. Gaming fans of stuff in general usually are annoying.
yeah
Like no matter what the fandom is, it feels like they're like, oh, well, we wanted this, even though like no matter what they say, no matter what they give you, you're always gonna be like, oh, well, we actually wanted this instead.
yeah
It's annoying, but I
yeah
think it looks cool. I've only played Breath of the Wild. I've heard Tears of the Kingdom is good. I want to
yeah.
play it, but the
I
old games look fun, like to watch, but I have a hard time getting into the graphics.
I'm actually like you're talking to the perfect person here because like I'm the complete opposite. I'm like a huge Zelda fan. I played
Yeah.
most games. I think I'm thinking which one I haven't played. I think
See,
I think
for me, that's
Skyward Sword is
Pokemon.
yeah yeah
Really, I heard that was a popular one, Skyward
yeah.
Sword.
But like I've never had a Wii, so
Oh, that's
I
fair.
and and I haven't bought the remake yet because of time.
Yeah, that's
Be-
fair.
yeah, because like I really I think I would enjoy Skyward Sword, and I've watched Let's
Hmm.
Plays obviously from the game,
Yeah,
so I know what it's about, but I haven't played it myself. Um,
yeah. I don't know much about Zelda, but I've heard a lot about Skyward Sword, and I think Twilight Princess
mhm,
are like really popular ones,
yeah, but like
aside from the newer games.
that's the thing with Skyward Sword. Like there, you have one section of the fandom who just completely hates it, and
Hmm.
another section of the fandom who think it's one of the best Zelda games. And I
Yeah.
haven't played it myself, so I can't say on the gameplay perspective. But
Hmm.
from a story perspective, it's a really, really strong Zelda game, and it has some of the
That's
best
good.
characters. Like it's really cool. I still think
Yeah.
Girahim, or I don't know how you pronounce him actually, but Girahim
I don't know.
is the main antagonist of the game. Is one of the
Hmm.
best antagonists in
Yeah.
Nintendo games. Period. Like he's
I
just
like the Ganondorf in Tears of the Kingdom.
yeah,
I was gonna say Tears of the Wild, but I know that's not right. Uh,
yeah.
I like Ganondorf's design. At least I haven't played the game still, but he looks cool.
He does look cool.
Uh, yeah.
I that's
I
the,
I love
yeah
I love Link's design always. He's a great twink.
yeah. Link is a
10 out of 10,
great
no
twink.
complaints.
10 out of 10 twink. He's
Yeah.
great. I think every Link design is good. I don't think there's
Mhm.
there are some designs I like more than others, but in general,
Yeah,
I think all Link designs are very strong.
that's fair. I haven't seen anywhere I'm like, that looks kind of bad.
Yeah,
Uh,
like
I played. I My first introduction to him was Smash Bros, which I used to play a little bit with some friends.
yeah,
Uh, and that was my first like introduction to his design. Kind of like I had heard about Zelda before, and I had like seen like some pictures of it, but I never was really like I never played it. I didn't really know anyone who played it, so
yeah, understandable. Um,
which is odd because like I think it's just like it wasn't really that big for a lot of people around my age and younger
mhm.
until like Breath of the Wild came out.
Yeah, that's like
Uh,
I think in this case the age difference between us shows a bit because
yeah,
like we don't have a huge gap in terms of age, but like
no,
still those few years like really hit hard because I'm like I'm I'm from the era of people who still think the Wii is a really new console. Like
I mean, it's
like
I
it's
I had one, but it's old
yeah,
now. Like,
the Wii is really old by now. I think it's like 15 years or even older. Wait, let me
yeah,
check how old the Wii is. Um, yeah,
it's up there now.
yeah. Wait, the Wii came out in. Oh God, it came out in 2006. It's almost
I
20 years
It
old.
came out in 2006.
Yeah,
Then it came out when I was 3.
yeah. It came out in 2006.
I
Um,
had one. It broke, but I had one. And it came out when I was 3 then.
yeah,
So yeah, it's a little old now, I'd say.
like for me again to just get into the
Yeah.
headspace. For me, the Wii is still a new console.
Hmm.
Like I still can't wrap my head around the
Yeah.
fact that the Switch is going to retire because I'm like in
I
like
mean,
a year or two because I'm like the Switch just came out, but no.
yeah, I get what you mean. I grew up with a PS2 mostly,
Hmm.
but I recognize that as an old console. Like
Yeah.
I got it like right before they stopped like really releasing them.
Hmm.
Uh, so I couldn't buy that many games that long after it came out. So the ones that I had, and it was hard to find new ones because the PS3 came out like 2 years after I got my PS2, and I couldn't just like, I was a child. I couldn't just go buy whatever games I wanted.
Yeah, of course. Like I
Uh, but I still have my PS2 somewhere.
the first console we actually had was the SNES, like
Hmm.
the Super Nintendo, and like
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I still have my old PS1 somewhere at home. It's
Hmm.
still working, and the SNES is also still working. I think 2 years ago or so I actually bought a second controller because the first one broke down. Yeah,
Yeah.
but like the SNES is really old. When did it release?
I've had every PlayStation console except 1 and 5.
Yeah,
So the oldest and newest I still haven't had. I
yeah,
want to get the newest, but
yeah.
haven't had
Same.
the opportunity yet.
I the only ones I'm missing is like 3 and 5, because
You
like
didn't have the 3?
no, like I
Hmm.
don't. I
3,
just
3
skipped
was
the
good.
PS3 because like I
Yeah.
in the when the PS3 came out, I still like had like my DS and my
Mhm.
3DS and stuff.
Yeah.
So I kind of and like it was around the time when I got into PC gaming, kinda.
Hmm.
So I just skipped the console entirely and then just
Yeah.
bought a PS4.
That's fair. I don't have a PC really. I'm just recording through my laptop, and my laptop is quite cheap, so I can't really play much game. So I mostly still play on my PS4 right now.
Yeah.
Uh, I tried playing Persona 5 uh, on my laptop. It was like it it it, it did not work. Let's just say at all.
Yeah.
Like Joker would be like in one spot of the map, and then all of a sudden he's like 10 feet forward after just moving the stick a little bit. But like I I moved that much, but I didn't see him move. He just kind of moved there, very laggy. Just it did not run well. Uh, I need a better laptop or computer.
Yeah, but my computer is also getting there. Like I know that
Yeah.
I have to get a new PC at some point in the future because I don't know, my PC doesn't feel that old, but he is.
Yeah.
So eventually I have to get a new one because I I started realizing it because sometimes Genshin starts
Hmm.
lagging. And like
See,
once Genshin starts lagging, you know, okay, I should maybe get a newer PC sometime.
you say that like, wow, I can't believe Genshin is lagging. But like, if I tried to play Genshin on my laptop, it would lag. Like,
Yeah,
I've tried to play FGO on my laptop and it lags.
that's
And like,
crazy.
have you seen FGO? It's like,
Yes.
it's not a very intensive game.
Yeah, okay. But like, I have to specify, like, my PC is he
Hmm.
used to be a gaming PC. Like when I
Yeah.
bought him, he was a gaming PC. So
Hmm.
like I used to be like the guy who just put on any game, set the
Yeah.
settings on highest quality, and it would run flawlessly. And now I'm at the point where I have to like, if I can even run newer games, then I have to put the graphic
Hmm.
settings completely down, and then maybe it works. Um,
Yeah. No, I've never had that. Uh, I've always mostly stuck to console gaming just because it's all I really have. I do want to get a PC and stuff. It also like makes streaming easier, which I want to get into, but this laptop isn't great for streaming, at least what I want to do.
mhm.
Also, like with streaming, the best part about like being a streamer is the audience, but it's really hard to build that audience.
Yeah, that's
Because like a lot of the ideas I have for streaming are like stuff I want to do with chat, like very chat intensive stuff. But if there's no real chat to be there, then it's doesn't really work out usually.
yeah. Just join a VTubing agency.
Doesn't that sound easy?
I'm very sure that this sounds very easy, and like there are no caveats to this. It's just really.
Like I'll submit them one VOD I have of back when I streamed the Catboy Nekapara with Gin. And that'll be my submission.
I think that's great reference.
Yeah, I mean that was a fun stream. It was unfortunate that I never finished that game with them because it was fun. They made me meow, which was embarrassing, but
Yeah.
you know, we
Maybe,
keep pushing.
maybe, guys, if you stick long enough to this podcast, you can hear Silver meow again.
Um, 10 subscribers. I'll
Yeah.
meow.
Okay. At 10 subscribers, mark our words. At 10 subscribers,
Hmm.
Silver meows.
Luden has to too.
No. uh,
Yeah,
20 subscribers. If you hit
fine,
20
fine,
subscribers,
fine,
then I meow
fine.
too.
Fine. That's fair.
Okay.
We got to get to 20 guys.
Hmm.
If we got to at least do two episodes, get to 20. We need Luden to meow.
Yeah.
That's the new goal of this podcast.
Okay.
Anything afterwards, whatever. We got to get Luden to meow.
Um. Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I guess we can kind of maybe get into like our
Yeah. I was about to
top
say.
one topic that we have,
I was about to say
which
we're
is
like 20 minutes in right now, and we haven't
yeah,
talked about what we wanted to talk about.
yeah. We can get into that now, I guess. Do you want to introduce it?
Yeah, sure. At first
Okay.
we want like to make a little introduction thingy, so you kind of get to know us a bit. So we thought about like listing or telling you our favorite anime at the moment. Like just like not we say like it's our favorite of all time, but like the favorite
Yeah,
five we just can't think of at the
we're
moment.
gonna do like a top five anime, maybe top five games. I
Yeah,
don't know,
yeah.
maybe. We can for anime. I say we do anime manga like stuff
Hmm.
because I feel like that's easier.
Yeah, but in this case, I have to hardly separate because my favorite
Yeah,
manga and my favorite anime are just completely different. Um,
yeah, that's fair.
yeah,
For me, it's just easier to list off because like I know there's a lot of anime I love, but it's hard for me like to pick a top five
yeah,
because like there's some I know that are like definitely the top three got for sure, but the other two are iffy. So
hmm,
I feel like I'm gonna include manga if that's fine with you.
yeah. Maybe we can just list like five we like, not in order,
Hmm.
but like we say five we really really like. I think that would be, at least for me, it would be easier.
Yeah, we can
Um,
do that, but I was kind of thinking it'd be fun if we did it like you give your five, I give my five, and then we like talk about each other's. Like, I
yeah,
don't like
yeah.
your top five. Your top five sucks.
Yeah, and we can do that. Like we can
Yeah,
definitely like each one, everybody of
yeah, and we don't
we
have to
take
say,
turns.
oh,
Like we
yeah,
take turn. That's what I would
yeah,
say. We take turns. You say one, I
yeah,
say one. You say one, I say one, and
yeah,
until we go to five, and like
yeah.
yeah.
I feel like that works out fine. Yeah.
But like I don't know
All
if
right.
I can like list them in a very particular order.
That's fine then. You can just list five that you really like,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll try and do like 5 to 1, but it's
Okay.
not maybe going to be 100% accurate since it's kind of in the moment.
Yeah, that's what I
Um,
want to say. Like, it's not five
yeah,
our five favorite of all
yeah.
time. It's just
This
like
is
the five at the moment.
this is our podcast where we're kind of just doing this as a riff.
Yeah, yeah,
So don't take this like if we say something in the future that contradicts what we're saying now, don't kill us.
yes,
Well, at
exactly.
least me.
Um, don't kill me as well. Like, that would be cool. It would be cool of
Okay,
you
yeah,
if you don't kill either of us.
yeah.
I mean, you can
Don't
try.
kill us.
You can try. I can try pushing you off the roof if you try to kill me. But like, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
Luden's a roof person.
I'm a roof person. You know me as Luden from the roof. If
Yeah.
you follow my Twitter, you sometimes see me on the roof.
If you follow me on Twitter, I'm Saber's wife. That's all.
I don't like. I don't know. The roof thing kind of became part of my identity at this point. But like,
Yeah, it's very like attached to you at this point, I'd say.
yeah. But like, I at this point I rarely do those posts. I just
Yeah.
yap about Kingdom Hearts most of the time.
Yeah. If you if you become a successful content creator, you could start a show where you interview people on top of the roof,
Yeah, I
and
could.
you it can be called Weebs on the Roof.
Yeah, I could just do roof live streams or stuff like that.
Yeah. Could be Roof Talk too. That sounds
Roof
fun.
roof talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's
Okay.
get into our list.
Yeah.
So you want to go first?
Let I let you go first because I have to think still.
Ah, see, it's very easy for me to listen 1 to 3, but five, I'm really like trying. I'm having a rough time thinking of it.
Okay.
For the sake of this, I'm gonna say, can we count movies?
Hmm? You can
Can
count
we count
movies, yes, of
anime
course.
movies?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Uh, a silent voice for 5.
That's actually good
Yeah.
because what I wanted to say first was silent voice.
All right. Works out great then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like I include not just the movie but the manga as well
hmm I
because
haven't read the manga, but I've heard it's better.
I can really, really recommend to you. Like that's the thing.
hmm
The movie, even after reading the manga, the movie
hmm
is still a 10 out of 10. But the
Yeah.
manga manages to, without taking anything away from the movie. Like I'm not saying the movie
hmm
is bad, quite the opposite.
Yeah.
Like without taking anything away, the manga is even better because like
Yeah.
it
That's
just
what I've heard.
it's just more. It's
hmm
just more of the same
It
story.
yeah, it makes
More,
more sense because it's a movie has to be like a certain time limit and it has to like get everything in during that time span.
yeah,
Meanwhile, a manga can be go on a little bit longer and like go into more detail about stuff.
yeah. There are just some scenes that are way more detailed in the manga, and
Yeah,
therefore are like just better.
yeah,
And also the ending is different. Like
hmm
the ending you have in the movie is also
yeah.
in there, but it goes on for a bit. Like it goes
Okay,
a
yeah.
bit
It
beyond
kind
that.
of seemed like it kind of just like cut off at the end of the movie, and I thought
Yeah,
it was a nice ending. But I felt like when it ended, I was like, oh, it stops there.
I think the ending of the movie is a good conclusion. Like it's
Yeah,
and the scene
it
is
definitely it's good, but it just felt like there was like stuff that I was expecting to happen afterwards,
yeah, and like
and
you
it
you get that
yeah
in the manga kind of like
yeah
the thing with the manga is I read it like I had the
hmm
manga for almost 2 years. Like I've
yeah
watched Silent Voice I think 3 years ago for the first time,
hmm
and afterwards I started collecting the manga and I got it, and I
yeah
had it lying around here for like almost 2 years. And sometime last year, I decided, yeah, I'm gonna read it, and I binged it in like record time.
hmm
I binged it really fast, and immediately after reading it, I thought it was so good that I bought the hardcover limited edition versions of the manga. Yeah.
yeah. I I do want to read the manga eventually, but at the end of the day, I still think the movie's phenomenal.
It
It's
is.
in my top five for a reason. I don't know if it could just be top 10. I'm not really sure on the exact ranking, but for now, let's just say top five for the
Yeah.
sake of this. So yeah, so you just said year five as well.
Hmm.
So I guess we both have that.
Yeah.
Uh, I guess we can like kind of talk about what we like about the movie and the manga as well. For
Yeah.
me personally, like I just really connect with the main character. I think
Same.
he's like uh he's really well written. He's kind of relatable to some extent,
Yeah.
not to the same point as like what happened in the movie, but similar story enough. I think the animation is like beautiful. It's like
Yes.
stunning.
Yes.
And I also just enjoy the voice acting. I've seen it in English and Japanese, and I think they both do like a great job. And yeah, that's why I like a silent voice.
Yeah. I have pretty much the same reasons. Like I
Hmm.
can't connect to Shoya as much like personality wise because
Yeah,
like I
no,
I'm
same. It's just like his story is what
yeah,
I connect with.
yeah. Like it's the thing that really hits home for me because like
Hmm.
I've been in obviously not as dramatic as in his case,
Yeah.
but like I've been in the similar position and I've in my life I've undergone a similar story like
Hmm.
I it's a bit embarrassing to say kinda, but like I used to be like in like middle school, I used to be like kinda a bully type
Yeah,
dude,
I'd say
and
I was more similar in terms of like my actions, more like one of his friends at the time,
yeah,
like one of the people who was just like in the background, not really doing anything to stop it, and like kind of participating in it.
yeah, but
Uh,
like
so
yeah, with me it was like I've been like actively in like Shoya's position, like
yeah,
I've been that guy, so
yeah,
and I've also like at one point in my life it just clicked and I was like holy shit that was fucked up and
yeah,
I tried to like turn it around, and that's the thing which is similar. I've had a now very good friend of mine, who I've bullied back then, and like I realized oh that was fucked up, and I went back to
yeah,
her and apologized to her, and we became really close friends after that. So it's like
yeah,
that part is really like it's a very similar story. Um,
yeah,
and like it's also like it's kind of funny how it's going like it also she was also introduced new into the class, she was the new girl, and then like it was fun to pick on the new girl and stuff like that, so
yeah,
like it's in that it's not as dramatic as in his case, but it's like the
yeah. I
pretty
mean,
much the same
most of the
thing.
most of the time it won't be as dramatic as like in a movie
Yeah,
because you have to like a movie. They try it does its best to make you feel the emotions I want you to feel.
yeah,
And the movie does a great job at that.
yeah,
But at the same time, yeah, like most people aren't going to be like, their story isn't going to be as dramatic as that. But yeah, it's just a great story of redemption and like
hmm,
changing and like,
and like
uh,
I really like that like Shoya is so realistically written that in him oftentimes because I've been in his position, you get
mhm,
like a mirror in front of you and you see like
yeah,
you see yourself in the good and the bad. That's why the movie
yeah,
hits so hard for me because like the bad things Shoya does also remind me really of me, and I see like oh fuck that
yeah,
was fucked up. So like it's not only like hey I've kind of done good now and I'm like better person now, but it's also bro you used to be fucked up. Like
yeah.
it's
There's got to be that redemption. It can't just be changed. There's got to
yeah,
be like a redemption along with it. You got
yeah.
to like, but yeah, that's a silent voice. We both love it. We both have
Mm.
like some relation to it.
And I think
So I guess
even if you can't relate to the
it's
situation,
still a great
it's
movie, I
still a
think.
fantastic movie, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like check the manga out as well. Even if you have
Yeah.
seen the movie, check out the manga because it's really, really worth it.
Yeah, I agree with that, even though I haven't read it. I'm just
I
saying
think
what I've heard.
I think that will
Uh,
be kind of a common theme sometimes. That I'm like
yeah,
more of a manga person, I believe.
yeah. I
I
usually stick to anime just because I like to have stuff on in the background sometimes, and I don't actively watch every show.
yeah, And like with me,
Uh,
it's like it's the complete opposite kinda. I really pay
mhm.
attention to the stuff I watch, and like I have to if I watch a show. That's why I watch very few anime actually,
Yeah,
because I want to sit down and I want to focus in it and properly
yeah,
digest the thing. And
for,
most of the time, if I really enjoy a series, I also buy the manga and then get into
yeah.
the manga as well. Like yeah, yeah.
Uh, for me, it's like I'll start a show, like just usually to have it on in the background, see how much I like it, and then if it piques my interest, I'll like start actively watching it, put other stuff to the side, and just watch the show. Uh, like I did that with Freerun. The first two episodes I kind of just had on in the background while I played games, and then after that I was just like just actively watching the show, just trying to absorb it, just really getting into it.
That's a good thing you mentioned Frieren actually, because I
Yeah,
want to watch it at one point.
it's great. You really
Yeah,
need to.
yeah. I
Freerun's like Freerun's one of my favorite characters right now.
that's
I'm not saying she's the best written, one of the best, although she is well written, definitely. She's not my favorite because of that though. She's just my favorite because I think she's fun.
yeah,
I like her.
yeah. But I really want to get into the series, but
Yeah, you need
in
to.
due time because as I said, I don't watch much anime. Um,
Yeah, you could read the manga. I've heard the
I
manga's good as well.
yeah, I could read the manga, but that's the next problem. With anime, I don't really watch much. With
Uh
manga, I
huh.
have so much to read that I can't catch
Yeah,
up
that's fair.
with most stuff. And like the biggest problem is, I really uh, prefer to read my manga physically. So I
Mhm.
buy most of what I read. Like I think
Yeah,
the only series that I don't actively buy that I'm
is
reading
One
is One
Piece.
Piece because it's just
Yeah,
too much. But everything else I buy. So
yeah.
it most of the time it takes very long till I catch up with a series because
Hmm.
I don't just buy 10 volumes instantly. I just buy it over a few months.
Yeah. I buy things physically just for the collection purpose. I usually read online. Like right now, I don't have that much manga in the first place though. I have my Tokyo Ghoul Re Volume 1 in front of me, IQ Volume 1, Kaiju number 8, Volume 1 and 3, and Noragami Volume 26. And that's
Mm.
all I really have in terms of my manga collection. I want to get more, but I also don't have a shelf. So they're
Yeah,
kind of just here on my desk.
yeah, okay, then yeah, I understand the problem.
Yeah. They're like stacked neatly. They look nice on my desk, but at the same time, like if I get too much, it's not going to fit on my desk.
Hmm. I get that.
But I do typically read digitally. I have no problem with digital.
I also don't
Typically,
like. I also don't have a problem with it, and like for a lot of series with really active fan bases, like JJK for
mhm.
example, One Piece or stuff like that, I also read it digitally first because otherwise I just would get spoiled.
Yeah, no JJK you have to read digitally because of the fan base. They just
Yeah,
spoil
I
everything.
I used until like volume 17 or 18. I used to read it physically only
Hmm.
until like spoilers got so bad that I just had to read it digitally.
Yeah, that's fair. I kind of dropped it. Uh, Not because it's bad. Well, I've never been like in love with JJK. It's always been something like, well, yeah, this is fine. I enjoy it. It's like good popcorn read. But I dropped it because the only character I was really interested in and like seeing how they ended. Uh, Unfortunate things happened to them. I won't say the character. I won't say what happened to them, but I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, yeah, and
If you
that's like
follow me on Twitter, you could probably figure it out. Though.
yeah, and that's like the. But I have a similar stance, I think, to JJK. I think I like it more than you do, but
Yeah, probably.
still, like I'm not super huge on it. I really like the
Yeah,
series. I think it's a really fun battle shonen, but it's not much more to me. Like
yeah. I thought it was a fun enough read, but it wasn't something like I was like, oh, I have to know what happens next. So it was just like, oh,
yeah,
well,
yeah,
I've been looking for something to read that's fun enough, and that was JJK. And also the main reason why I really read it is because of the fan base. Like the fan base is annoying, but they're also kind of fun sometimes. And
Yeah,
I'm someone who wants to be in the know with like memes and stuff that are currently going on.
yeah,
So
same.
JJK. So that's like another part of the reason why I caught up with most of the manga. Until the point where I found out what was going to happen in a couple chapters and didn't read those couple chapters.
Hmm.
And because if I didn't read it, it never happened.
Okay. Um, we should get going with the list. we
Yeah, we
we
should
drifted
continue
off.
on.
We drifted off. Should I give
Who
a
went first last
4?
time? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Also, you didn't even really say your five. You did, but you didn't.
Yeah,
It was the same as mine.
I can add
Yeah. So
another
you,
5. Like
yeah.
because I have enough.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. You can go for four.
Yeah, I can
We,
add another 5 because I still have a lot
okay.
of
Okay. Okay.
stuff.
Okay.
Um,
That's fine.
like just know that I also really like Silent Voice.
Yeah.
um, but I think another series I really really enjoy, and I've been pretty vocal about this.
Mhm.
Is
Wait. Can I take a guess?
yeah, take a guess.
Noragami.
It's still yes, but it's not what I wanted to say.
Okay.
Noragami
Let me
comes.
take another guess.
Yeah,
Shaman King.
that will also come later.
Okay. Let me take
don't
another guess.
don't
Okay.
spoil
No,
the
it's fine.
entire fun.
I don't want to spoil all your stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, because like Noragami and Shaman King are two series I will
Yeah.
mention
Yeah.
later.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But Made in Abyss. like
Okay, yeah,
I've been
that was like my fourth or fifth guess.
yeah, like I've been not as vocal about this as
Mhm.
with
I
certain
know
other
you've told me to
series.
watch it. You've
Yeah,
told me to watch it repeatedly.
it's Made in Abyss is just fucking great. Like
Yeah.
it's not a series you just recommend anybody.
Mhm.
Like you don't say like watch it to like someone
Yeah.
who's never seen an anime before.
Yeah.
Um, but for people who are like into a bit of dark fantasy stuff,
I
it's
mean, if
just
someone's
really
like a
great.
huge Game of Thrones fan, maybe
I don't know. I don't think Game of Thrones and
they're
Made in
not
Abyss
that
really.
similar, but like they are, at least to my knowledge, they're like similar in terms of like darkness levels. I guess is the way I'll phrase that. Like in
I,
terms of maybe maturity, I guess you'd say.
yeah, but I think but that's in general an issue I have with Game of Thrones. In Game
Mhm.
of Thrones, a lot of the stuff, the dark themes, feel kind of forced. At least in my opinion.
To
Um,
me, they just got in the early seasons. I thought it was fine, but towards the end, it like towards like season five and onward, it felt like they were just kind of trying to overdo it a little bit,
yeah, yeah. But like
especially like with that one character that like tortured the girl and like had the dogs. I don't remember his name.
yeah, yeah. I also don't remember his name. It's been ages since I watched Game of
Yeah,
Thrones. Yeah.
it's been a couple months since I watched it, but still.
Um, yeah. But back to Made in Abyss. Made in Abyss is just, it's just, yeah. I really
But
love.
yeah, in Abyss,
Yeah.
I
What?
I plan on getting into it. You've told me to
Yeah.
watch it, and I do plan on getting into it eventually. It's just something that I'm like, I feel like I have to be in like a certain mindset to watch it.
Definitely, definitely, most definitely. Don't
Yeah.
watch Made in Abyss when you just want to watch any anime. I think like
Yeah.
it's not the thing. Like Made in Abyss isn't like extremely dark, and you have to like
Mhm.
be in a moody mood to just watch it or stuff. But you definitely have to put your mind to it. Like the first
No, I definitely will probably watch it when I am going through another depressive state.
like the first
Uh,
four, like that's the thing. Like the first
Yeah.
4 or 5 episodes are fine. Like they're just
Mhm.
fun adventure stuff. But like there are dark themes in it,
Yeah.
and like
The thing
oh
is, like,
yeah,
I probably won't watch it when I'm happy
but like
because then it'll ruin my vibe to me.
I don't think it's that heavy. I don't think like
I
it's,
don't know. I'm just going off what I heard.
I think Made in Abyss still has a rather positive vibe in general. Like it's not like everything is dark and everything is shit and stuff. Like
Yeah.
mainly through Riku, the main character, because
Mhm.
she's like extremely positive and stuff all the time.
Yeah.
I think through that you still like see the positives, but it has
Mhm.
has like a lot of dark stuff going on.
Yeah.
Um, and I have to.
Well,
That's
who
the
knows?
that's the
I don't know when I'll watch it, but I will watch it eventually. Loon.
Yeah, but what I want to highlight specifically about
Hmm.
Made in Abyss is like, first off, the anime looks gorgeous. Like it's
Yeah,
super pretty,
the soundtrack and the
and
animation look beautiful.
that was what I was about to say. Kevin Pankin is at
Hmm.
the is a god. Like he's a composing god. He's by far, I think, my favorite composer ever.
Hmm.
And like he didn't only do Made in Abyss, he also did
Yeah, he's done other stuff.
he did
Tower of God, I think.
Rising of the Shield Hero as well, if I'm correct.
That sounds right.
Then he did a bit for Star Wars Visions. He
Yeah,
did one
I heard
episode,
about that.
which was also really good.
Hmm.
Then Spice and Wolf is something recent.
The
The
new one,
Spice and Wolf remake.
I want to check that out too. That's
Um,
good stuff.
uh, the Apothecary Diaries he also did, and
Didn't know that.
um, and I think he did more. But like he's
No,
just
well, he probably yeah. I think he did Tower of God, but I'm not
yeah.
sure.
I also think he did Tower of God. I'm not sure. But like he's especially in the Made in Abyss soundtrack. In terms of
Hmm.
Apothecary Diaries, I haven't seen all of it, but I don't think it's
Hmm.
his soundtrack there is as strong as Made in Abyss. But like
Yeah,
Made in Abyss has, like, I can say that with confidence, has by far my favorite soundtrack in anything ever.
yeah,
Like it's so incredibly good, and like not only like music wise, the beeps and bobs sound nice, but also
yeah,
like from a thematic standpoint, it's crazy. The way he
yeah,
works with leitmotifs and stuff like that, it's insane. Like just for the soundtrack, it's worth checking out Made in Abyss because it's so good. And like
yeah,
I never stop gushing about it because it's just incredible. And
yeah. No, that makes sense. I've only heard good things about it.
like and it's funny because Made in Abyss made me instantly recognize Kevin Penkin in anything he's in.
Makes
Because
sense.
like for example Star Wars Visions, he did only one episode there for the soundtrack,
Yeah.
and I've watched it with my brother back then when Star Wars Visions
Hmm.
came out, and like we were like 2 or 3 minutes into the episode, and I was like to him, yeah, I think the soundtrack is made by Kevin Penkin. And he's like, what? Who? And I'm like, Kevin Penkin, the composer for Made in Abyss. And he's like, who? And after the episode was over, I said to him, please stop the credits. I want to see if it's actually Kevin Penkin. And then he
Yeah.
stopped the credits, and obviously it actually was Kevin Penkin. But it was really
Yeah.
funny because, like, um, I immediately recognized him, and I was like, that has to be him. And that
Yeah.
also happened with Apothecary Diaries. I didn't know he was on it, but pretty soon into the first episode, I immediately recognized that he was in it. Yeah,
Hmm. But yeah, I've like I said, I've heard great things about Made in Abyss. I will watch it eventually,
I
but
can.
I guess we should move on to my four.
Yes, yes. Sorry, I talked a bit in depth
Oh no,
about
you're
Made in
fine.
Abyss.
You're fine. You're fine. We're both gonna get into tangents for a while,
That's
probably.
true. That's true.
Uh, and it's completely fine if that's what people will come for. Uh, for my number four, I thought about it for a good while since you gave me some time. Thank you.
No problem.
And I think I will say it is trying to pick if I want this at my four or three. I'm gonna say four. ReZero.
Mm-hmm.
ReZero. It's I wouldn't say it's for everyone. I definitely understand why someone wouldn't be a big fan of it because it's very like Subaru's a hard main character to watch sometimes. He can definitely be uh he has his flaws, especially at the start, and it's not writing flaws, it's more so character flaws that can be annoying for some people, which I get. Uh but I think it's a great show. I think season two is phenomenal. It's like season one was okay for me. Uh Season two was like amazing. Really like got into Super as a character, his backstory, just like all the trauma and stuff he went through as a child. Well, I don't want to say trauma, but just why he is the way that he is and how he got to the point where he is as a person, like as the way he acts. And I just think he's a phenomenal main character. I relate to him a bit too. Uh, and yeah, I love ReZero. I definitely say check it out. The animation's pretty good, not like as good as I'd say the other two shows we've mentioned
Hmm.
or movie. But it's still like great animation, great soundtrack, great voice acting, just a great show in general. Overall, I'd say.
Yeah, I can't say much about ReZero because I have not watched it. So,
Yeah,
but like, yeah,
I
like,
want to get into the light novels, or I think they're light novels, but they're just hard to get into. Like, they're you either have to buy them or like find a place to one piece them, let's say. Uh, and I haven't found any reliable sites to, let's say, one piece them, if you get what I mean.
to One Piece
Uh,
them.
yeah, that's how I phrase that, just for legal anonymity.
Yar har
Uh,
fiddle dee dee is what I would say. You
yeah.
could also say you
So
could Pirate of the Caribbean them.
yeah, I don't say Pirates of the Caribbean since it's too long. I'll usually say Jack Sparrow for
Yeah, you
someone who
could
wouldn't
Jack
know One
Sparrow them.
Piece.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I won't say it's just simpler, and not everyone knows One Piece. So sometimes I'll say Jack Sparrow.
I just resort to Yar har fiddle dee dee because
That's fair. Uh, I guess we can go into your three.
four. I didn't I
Oh,
put Made in Abyss at
oh
five?
yeah, you're
Yeah.
four, you're
Okay.
four, you're
Yeah.
four.
Four. My four. I'm currently struggling between two to decide because like
Mm-hmm.
uh, it's I would put two on the spot because I can't decide in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I try to keep it brief about both. We can
Mm-hmm.
about one we can both talk more. But
Yeah.
like I put two series on that spot because I can't decide,
Okay.
and I need the other spots still. Um, I would say first Doctor Stone. Um,
Yeah, you definitely let me know about that.
yeah, like Doctor Stone is crazy. Like I've only read the manga in my defense. Have
Yeah,
not seen the anime, so I
I've
can't.
seen season one of the anime and half of season two.
Like
I didn't I didn't stop watching because it was bad. I just like it wasn't something that was gripping my interest, let's just say.
yeah, like
It was
that.
good. I enjoyed it while I was watching it, but outside of like I never felt a reason like, oh, I need to see what happens next already.
Yeah, like that's the thing. I can't tell you anything about the anime. I have not
Yeah,
seen it. I have seen, I think, 2 or 3 episodes of season three,
yeah,
but that's it. Like I haven't seen anything. The
yeah.
manga is phenomenal. Like
Hmm.
in in terms of art, in terms of the story, in terms of the characters, in terms of the basic idea.
I
Like the
actually think the character design is part of the reason why I didn't get into it that much, maybe. Because
mm,
I don't like the way women look in that series. Like their faces,
I
they
can
feel off to
understand
me.
that. Like I think the woman character designs are one of the biggest weaknesses of Doctor Stone.
I
Um,
don't think it's like objectively bad. I just like it's
yeah,
not for me.
yeah, but like I get that. Like they often kinda can get over sexualized and stuff as well. But I don't like that as well. But like the
Hmm.
characters, just in terms of writing, are really good. This the premise and the story itself is really great, and especially like the twists are really good. And I've liked the basic premise that most of the series is based on like actual science. Like a lot of stuff
Hmm.
is obviously sci-fi,
Yeah.
and like fantasy stuff, but also the other half is really grounded. Like a lot of the stuff they
Hmm.
do in the show, you can do theoretically in practice. Like
Yeah.
obviously you have to like for some things you just have to be like so gifted that you can manufacture some stuff so accurately per hand,
Yeah.
and that's like physically pretty much impossible. But
Hmm.
just theoretically, you could do most of the stuff
Yeah.
they do in the series, and that's really cool. And one of the biggest reasons I also like the series, I don't get into it because it's huge spoiler, obviously, but
Yeah.
I like that the biggest twist in the series, which is established pretty much from the start, is held off until almost the very end. Like,
Yeah.
they just don't blow it and try to raise the stakes by something else. But like the
Yeah.
series is something 200 chapters long,
Yeah. I figure something
something
like that.
between 200 and 300 chapters, and like the main twist from chapter one is still held off until then. I think it's
Hmm.
revealed something second to last chapter or stuff, and like it's really cool how you can like have this looming mystery over the whole series, and you know
Hmm.
that the whole series works towards that goal in general. Like, of course, they get sidetracked and stuff, and there's like conflict, but like overall, they work the whole series towards that one goal. And once they resolve that goal or like find out what the mystery is, the series pretty much ends. And I
Hmm.
really enjoy that.
Yeah, no, it
It's
it definitely doesn't seem bad by any means. It was good while I watched it. I just never really found myself being
mm,
able to like season one. It took I watched like the first couple episodes, took a break for a couple months, finished watching season one, and I enjoyed season one. It was a good season. Like good characters, good story. Same thing with season two. I started it and I just haven't got around to finishing it yet. It's not that I dropped it, I just haven't finished it yet.
yeah. I also think Doctor Stone isn't just for everyone. So
Yeah, that's fair.
like it's not for everyone. You really have to get into the type of series it is, but
Hmm.
it's really great. But I wanted to keep it brief, so I have to skip to the next.
Yeah.
The next we where we can both talk more about this is Noragami.
Is it? Okay. I was
Yeah,
going to say One Piece, but
no,
it's Origami.
One Piece isn't on this list actually,
Okay.
because
Hmm.
like One Piece is one of those series I really
Well,
can't rank.
we can get into One Piece later
Yeah,
because
we can talk about it later once
yeah,
you mention it. But
yeah.
Noragami, Noragami.
Okay.
Uh,
Noragami's one I debated putting because I was really into the manga, but it's been so long since I've read it. I just don't remember enough from it to be like, yeah, this is my I remember how I felt. I remember that I loved it. I remember some like key details like the fridge.
yes.
Uh, but aside from that, it's just like I really need to try and like go back from chapter one and read it again if I want to like
Yeah,
really get into it again, make it back in my top 5 to 10 maybe.
yeah. But with Noragami, I have to like that's the thing. I haven't seen the ending yet because I know the series
Hmm.
is finished. But since I'm
Oh, it did?
yeah, it is over already.
Okay.
But like since I'm reading it physically, I
Hmm.
and it hasn't released yet. I haven't
Yeah.
read the ending, so my stance
Yeah.
on the series could change. But boy,
Yeah. I caught
boy, do I love it.
I caught back up with it in high school, and from the point where I left off on, there was a certain character that kind of like went against the main character, let's say. I don't want to spoil it,
Oh yeah,
but I
I
feel,
know what you mean.
yeah,
I
you
know
know
what
what
you
I
mean.
mean.
Yeah, I exactly
Uh,
know what you mean.
Chose someone else's side, kind of. I think that's what I remember happening. And there was like a big argument between them. They got into a fight. I don't want to say who or what happened because I don't want to spoil it. But if you know, you know. I think it's enough clues to figure it out if you know the story. And
Yeah.
that's where I left off. And I just really feel like if I want to get back into it, I'll need to restart it.
Mm.
But from what I remember, I loved it. Yato was an amazing like main character.
Yato's crazy. It's
Such a like heart wrenching story.
mm-hmm.
Loved him.
Yeah.
Like just
Same.
mm,
I really want to reread the entire series once it's finished because I have
yeah.
a similar issue to you. Like I also have pretty big gaps between reading it because I've
Hmm.
caught up to the series, like again
Yeah.
physical release, um,
Yeah.
at volume 17 or 18. So after that I always had like huge breaks in between. um,
Yeah.
because the
I
release
have
schedule.
volume 26 in front of me,
Yeah.
and
Um,
I don't think I'm that far. I'm not sure.
yeah.
I don't think so
26
though.
is the second to last volume.
Okay, yeah, I'm not that far then.
Yeah. 27 is the last volume.
Yeah.
Um, so like I also had like big breaks in between, but I also like
Mhm.
reread parts of it and stuff. Like
Mhm.
remember what happens pretty clearly. Like
Yeah,
I can create a cohesive structure and tell you what happens in what arc.
yeah.
So but
I kind of remember like each arc and like what happened in the arc generally, but it's also like I don't remember the reasons why they happened a lot of the time, or I don't remember like what really happened in the arc, just like a general idea of what was going on.
yeah,
Like let's make a comparison to One Piece. It's like if I tried like I know what happened in Marineford, but basically what I remember from it would be like, let's say I remembered only that there was a war going on in Marineford and Luffy was trying to save someone. That's kind of like the gist of what I remember from Oregon.
yeah. I understand that. Like and I think Noragami arcs blend into each other a lot.
Yeah.
And like you oftentimes like with the last two arcs that it's more cut, I think. Like you can
Hmm.
more see like a cohesive arc structure. But like for a
Yeah.
lot of the series, especially early on, all feels just like one big story and like not like separate
Yeah.
arcs. So some things just can blend into
I
one
feel like
another.
the anime does like do a good job of cutting stuff off. Is
Yes,
also that weird filler arc though too. So
yeah, like
the filler arc
the
I don't think was that bad though. I thought
I
it was
think
okay.
I think the filler arc is good, but it's weird
Yeah.
that half of season one is just filler.
Yeah.
Like I always thought after watching the anime that like
Mhm.
the Bishamon arc is like very far into the series, like from my
Yeah.
mindset. Then I read the manga and I realized it's literally the second arc.
Yeah.
it's
No, but
like
I
it's
do
like
think the filler they added to season one was fun. I thought it like added some fun characterization, like just get to know the characters a bit more.
yeah.
I think the filler that bothered me was like it didn't bother me. I just like when I first watched it, I didn't know it was filler, but like the first arc in season two, I think is filler, isn't it? Or like some arc in season two, or at the end of season one. I don't remember
It's
exactly.
the end of season one. Like I
Yeah,
think
okay,
season
the
two
end of season one arc.
doesn't have filler. I think.
Yeah. But yeah, it's not that that filler was bad. It's just that it wasn't as good as the rest, I'd say.
Yeah.
And maybe not even because of it was poorly written, just because it didn't really add too much to the story. I guess I'd say
Mhm.
it felt like, at least looking back now, compared to like everything that was going on in the manga where I left off. But yeah,
Yeah.
Noragami, great series, great main character, phenomenal villain too. The
Yeah.
villain in
Yeah.
that series is insane.
The main villain, like that's the biggest problem with the main villain is that you can't say his name or like can't
Yeah,
say who he is because that is a spoiler.
it's a spoiler.
Like
Yeah,
it's a huge spoiler and like I don't think he has a name. Like
yeah,
I think you have to describe who he is and that would be
yeah.
a huge spoiler.
I mean,
Um
even if you just like describe some basic details to him, it's kind of a spoiler.
yeah, like you can
It's like
just
so
say
much of him at the beginning is a mystery, and then the parts that aren't mysteries are also spoilers.
yeah. And like the thing is, the mystery parts to his character are when
Yeah,
you don't know that he's the villain. Like
yeah,
immediately once you know that's the main villain, you know the spoiler basically of
yeah,
like you know his
and
identity kind of from the get go, and that's
yeah.
like yeah.
Another thing I'll add before we finish off with Noragami is the backstories in that show are insane.
Yes, 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 yes. Like in general, what I want to add last, like we don't
Yeah,
have to discuss about the art because the art is obviously phenomenal.
yeah, the art's
Like,
great.
but like the characters and their stories and story arcs
Yeah,
are so incredibly good and heart wrenching at parts.
yeah,
It's it's trauma the manga at points.
it
Like
kind of
it's
is.
but it's so good.
Yeah.
And I
It's
think,
also like it doesn't also feel like constantly sad either. So like
yeah,
if you
yeah,
don't go into it expecting that, there's like a lot of uplifting moments.
yeah, definitely.
Like the scene where Yato gets that gift from
From Hiyori.
yeah,
Yeah,
don't want to say what the gift is,
but
but
still,
that scene like oof, my heart.
I
That was
think
so beautiful.
I think that's still one of my favorite scenes in
Yeah.
general. Like,
Yeah,
it's
and the anime did it wonderfully too.
yeah, manga and anime are both
Yeah.
incredible in that scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's no
I
origami.
yeah. Yeah, so that was year 4, right?
Yes,
All right, so I guess we go to my
or my
3.
force, kinda. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I guess we go to my 3,
Yes.
and I will say, hmm, I'm just debating the order of what I want to give stuff, but I think I'll throw this in at my 3 for Tokyo Ghoul.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tokyo Ghoul, not the anime, definitely not the anime, especially not the anime. The anime is like my bottom 3, but the manga, I'm including Ri in this too. I'm like doing them as a collective because
I mean,
that's how the
it's
story really
one
is.
story, kinda.
Yeah, it's one story. It's like they're just divided into parts. It's like if you're judging Naruto, most people will judge Naruto as a whole. Like if you just say, "Hey, what do you think of Naruto?" Most people will give you the show as a whole, not just the original anime.
Yeah.
And I know the manga is a whole too, so that's a little bit different too. Either way, but still, you get what I mean. Tokyo Ghoul and Tokyo Ghoul Re, phenomenal story, amazing main character, amazing just characters in general. The art is beautiful. It's just a solidly written story, solid characters, some really high highs in terms of emotions and just everything that's going on. Love it.
Yeah. As like I can't say much again about Tokyo Ghoul
Hmm.
because I've I've seen season 1 of the anime
Yeah.
and I've read the manga up to the ending of season 1. Like
Okay.
I'm
That
still
that's not that much.
yeah, it's still pretty much the beginning of the series.
Yeah.
Um
Uh,
like
I'll say Tokyo Ghoul, like not Re, just Tokyo Ghoul is a great story. It's really good, but Re just kind of brings it up to another level,
mhm.
I'd say. When I first read Tokyo Ghoul, I had like to take a break from it because I was in like a really depressed state, and then what was happening in the story did not help out with that. So I took a break for like a year, got back into it, and then just like blitzed through it a little bit. Uh, the beginning of Re can be a little bit hard to like really cling on to, but if you
Yeah,
push through it,
I've
it
heard
will
that.
like yeah, it will be like one of your favorite stories in my opinion. Maybe not top 10 or top 5 like me, but it'll be like you'll recognize it's a great story, I think. You can recognize that.
Yeah.
Uh the reason why it's hard to push through is like first off it like brings you to like a weird point where you don't really expect it doesn't really explain anything at the start, but you learn as the main character learns more information and at the same time it's also just like there's quite a bit of exposition and just like a lot of like really wordy pages, so it can be hard to get through. But if you push through it, I say you'll love it.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you can sue Luden.
Oh, no, sue you. Sue you for emotional damage. Um
Uh,
yeah, but
so
like
yeah,
what I've read of Tokyo Ghoul was also really
Mhm.
good. Like
Yeah.
and
Where did season 1 end? I don't remember.
Jason.
Well, I haven't seen all the anime. I just saw the first 2 episodes.
Jason.
Okay, Jason, where he finishes fighting Jason.
Yes. The end of the
Okay,
Jason. Like the
okay,
last episode and that's
yeah.
the thing. Like
So like the end of
even
that arc.
yeah, even
Okay.
after I've read the manga, I say
Hmm.
that season 1 of Tokyo Ghoul is really good. Like the manga is like 10 times better. No questions asked.
I.
But like season 1 is still really good in
Mhm.
my opinion. And like
Oh.
even though I have to
Mhm.
like emphasize that the Jason fight is like incredibly good in the manga, but also really good in the anime. Like it doesn't like
I don't like it that much in the anime. I haven't. Well, not maybe the fight, but what
like
led
the
up to it.
yeah, but like
Because I guess I'll say spoilers for Tokyo Ghoul. I'm gonna give a spoiler warning. Skip ahead maybe a minute if you don't want to hear. Uh, but the reason why Kaneki's hair turns white isn't because it's just a transformation. It's because he was being tortured and it just
yeah,
like the
this from
stress
the
turned it
stress.
white.
Yeah.
And in the anime, it kind of just like turns white like a magical anime
Mm,
transformation,
but
which I'm not a fan of.
I think it's still like try to emphasize that it was because of the stress. Like if like one when I've watched the anime first and like
Hmm.
to me it never seemed like it was a
I'm
transformation.
not saying it's like an anime magical girl
Mm,
transformation, but at the same time,
Like
like how they did it,
yeah,
it just felt weird to me.
I know what you mean, but like to me it
Yeah.
also always seemed like it was stress,
Hmm.
which turned it white. Um,
Okay. Spoilers over. Uh,
yeah, but like
anyone listening, skipped ahead a little bit. Spoilers over.
yeah, but like what I wanted to say about that, like still think again, like manga blows the
Hmm.
anime completely out of the
Yeah.
water. Like it's not a comparison, but I
Yeah.
still think,
The anime isn't badly animated either.
but
I just think that the manga's art style is like so
yeah,
perfect for the story it's telling.
yeah, but like what I wanted to say, what I wanted to get to is like the anime episode, the last one, like the
Hmm.
final of the Jason fight.
Yeah.
Like I still think that's actually one of my favorite episodes in
Hmm.
anime. Even though, like again, the manga is like
Yeah.
20 times better, but I still think that episode is really, really, really good. Like
I
you,
mean, that's fair. You're entitled to your opinion. Uh,
but yeah, like again, it's I'm not saying like the anime is
yeah.
like
Yeah, I get what
comparing,
you're saying. Don't
but
worry.
yeah, but like I still think it's
Uh,
really good, and like I still
if you do,
get chills
yeah,
when I watch that fight because it's
yeah.
just so good.
If you do ever get the time, I will say check out the manga if you have the time.
Yeah,
It's
I want to. I
like
want
pretty
to.
solid.
Like again, I've read up to the Jason fight and I
Mhm.
want to continue, but I just have a few series
Like,
that I'm interested in more,
mhm.
and that I
Yeah,
want to
that's fair.
continue first before I get to
Yeah.
Tokyo Ghoul. But it's like that pretty high
Another
on my
thing,
priority list.
yeah. Another thing I'll say about it is just like uh
Yes.
like the first part of Tokyo Ghoul is great, but in and like the art is still good, but you can definitely see he progressed a lot as an artist in like Zero. I mean in Re. I got Re Zero
I understand
to
what you
know
meant.
how much he progressed as an artist.
Yeah.
Uh and it's like as a storyteller too, like the story gets a bit more concise, I'd say too. Some people aren't a fan of some of the choices he made, but I think it's like great throughout. It has like one of it has a Tokyo Ghoul Re has a lot of my favorite manga panels. Just in all manga, it has some of my favorite panels.
Yeah.
The so yeah, we can go on to year three. I think.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Like the next three I have are pretty much all on the same level.
Hmm.
Like I don't differentiate between them. Like this is not
Hmm.
a ranking. It's just I all like them equally.
Yeah.
um, and like the first I want to mention is Full Metal Alchemist, and
Hmm.
I put this as a whole, not
Hmm.
manga, not Brotherhood, not the
Just in general,
2003 anime, in
the
general.
franchise.
Yeah, the franchise in general, because
Hmm.
I love the manga. I've only like
Hmm.
skimmed through it. I haven't fully read it, but I'm currently at
Yeah.
it. I'm currently completely reading the manga. Um,
Hmm.
the manga is incredible. It's like
Hmm.
from what I've seen from the first few arcs, and like the first couple chapters, the manga is definitely the definitive version of Full Metal Alchemist because like you can see it has a lot more content that just Brotherhood, for example, just
Hmm.
completely left out or skipped over. Yeah, but Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is my favorite anime of all time, and like it's also the anime I've watched most. I've watched it, I think, 7 or 8 times at this point. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and like the story is fantastic. Like the overall story they want to tell is great. I love the story. The characters are phenomenal. Edward is still one of my favorite characters of all time because
Yeah,
he's great.
he
Like
is great.
the villain is great. The soundtrack in both shows is really really good. The animation is in both shows really really good.
Hmm.
The fights, even though there are not that many, like there are not that many like big bombastical fights, all of
Hmm.
them are really good and like choreographed.
Choreographed.
Choreographed. Sorry, I'm not a native English speaker. I'm sorry. Choreographed really,
Have
really
we
well.
mentioned that he's German?
I am a German. Hello, I am German.
It's also a chimney sweep,
Also that. I'm
which was
Mary
astonishing to
Poppins.
me.
I am Mary Poppins. Yeah. Um, and and like in the manga, the art as well is great. I think the story is also like in the 2003 anime, not as much. I
Hmm.
think, but the story is also really well paced. I think
Yeah,
Brotherhood at the start can be a bit wonky because like you can see they went like double the pace
yeah.
because a lot
I've
of
only seen Brotherhood, and it does feel fast, but it
yeah.
also doesn't feel like rushed
Yeah,
either to
like
me.
the first like 10 or so episodes
Mhm.
feel a bit rushed to me because
Yeah.
like they skipped over a lot of stuff from the manga and like because
Hmm.
like in the 2003 version the first like 4 5 6 episodes are pretty much the same
Hmm.
to Brotherhood. So when they adapted Brotherhood, they didn't want to go over a lot of that stuff again. So a
Yeah.
lot of stuff was just plain out cut. Like, which is one of my biggest issues with Brotherhood. Like, I love Brotherhood and I think it's
Yeah.
an almost perfect adaptation, but the start left out a lot of important stuff. Like,
I
it,
think for me, as someone who's only seen Brotherhood, I feel like it gets everything it needs to, but I do
yeah,
understand it definitely does feel like things are going at a very fast pace. It's just trying to get
yeah.
things on, in front of you.
Like, I
But at the
don't,
same time, it's not like when I first watched it, it's not something I noticed. But now
yeah,
looking back, it's definitely something I can see
yeah,
because like I haven't gone back and rewatched it, but I've seen like I like to watch other people react to shows if I've already seen them,
yeah,
and it's definitely something where I'm like that happened like so fast after this. Like I
yeah,
did not remember. Like I thought the Hughes episode was like episode 10, but
yeah.
it's
It's like
like
episode
3, I think.
8. 8. Or what do you mean?
Okay.
Like,
Uh,
or do you mean
yeah. No,
the
not the Hughes.
chimera thing?
The
The
Yeah,
chimera thing.
Chimera.
That's
Yeah,
episode
I thought
3.
that was
That's episode
episode
3.
10, but no, it's like episode 3.
I
And then
think
Hughes is like 10.
in in the 2003 version it's episode
Mhm.
6 or 7, I think. It's
Yeah.
later. Definitely. And like I don't know if you actually know that because you haven't read the manga, but did you know
Hmm.
that Brotherhood just cut 2 entire arcs at the start? Like
I I did
the
not.
the second and third arc of Full Metal Alchemist are completely cut from
Mhm.
Brotherhood. Like those are really short. I think the one arc is just 2 chapters and another one is one, I believe. But like the 2003 version included them both. But or
Mhm.
did it include them both? I'm j- I I don't know.
I don't know.
Now that
I've
I
only
think
seen
about
the
now that I
first.
think about it, I think they only covered one. Because like I don't know if you remember like Floki, that one dude who like traveled with Scar, like that one random that kind of looks like Waluigi.
I
If
think I know who you're talking
yeah,
about.
that guy. Like in Brotherhood, he just shows up at one point. It is like, "Hi- hey, I'm here, I guess," and he's really not that relevant. But like
Yeah.
he's in the second arc. Like in
Mhm.
Brotherhood, he shows up and says, yeah, he wants his revenge on Edward and stuff like that. And like in the manga, it's the second arc because he is like a military guy who owns a coal factory and then like Ed screws him because he's a dick. Like the guy is a dick, not Edward,
Yeah.
and like he basically makes him lose ownership of that mine. Like that,
Mhm.
and that's why he's so pissed against Edward. Like that's why he wants revenge on him. But like the anime doesn't cover that at all.
Mhm.
And like the second arc is just like kind of introduction to Roy Mustang and
Yeah,
stuff, because like the first episode of Brotherhood is filler actually. Like that's they just
I
rearranged a
think
bit.
I heard that somewhere.
Yeah, but like the first episode is filler. That's not in the manga, and
I still
so
think
you
it's a good episode, though.
it
I
is
think it's a
really
good
good.
introduction.
It's definitely a good introduction.
Yeah.
And like because that's the thing, because they cut that one arc out, you don't have
Hmm.
an introduction to Mustang, a proper one. So that's why he gets introduced in the first episode in the anime, in the
I do
filler
kind of
episode.
like how they introduced Mustang in Brotherhood. I just like that he's just like a presence that's kind of just like
Mm.
there immediately.
But like the thing with Mustang I don't like in
Hmm.
Brotherhood is the thing he gets introduced and his joke gets repeated twice in the span of like
Hmm.
2 episodes. The fact that he's like useless in the rain, um,
Hmm.
that part, like the fact that he's useless in the rain only is relevant in the Scar fight, and like you don't know that before that in the manga, and in the anime you see it in episode 1, and then like 2 episodes
We
later
almost
when
pick him out.
yeah
But uh, he like he really pauses the show, makes a lot of jokes. He's very comedic with his reactions.
yeah
So when he like saw that first 2 episodes, he like it became a reoccurring joke with him. Like anytime he saw Mustang on the screen, he was like, "Oh well, what are you gonna do? You're
yeah
just gonna get wet, and then you're not gonna do anything."
Yeah, like that
And
was a
like that,
I also saw that
yeah,
whole reaction. Like it was
yeah,
a running theme that he like was like, yeah, what are you gonna do? You're like Roy, you're useless in the rain, Mustang.
yeah,
And like it's true, considering that Mustang is actually one of the most powerful characters in the series. He
yeah,
kinda doesn't do shit for most of the series.
yeah. But he, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. I just
Yeah,
thought it was funny.
yeah, but like that's the thing. That joke doesn't get repeated. It's only
Yeah,
once, and like
yeah,
he gets introduced in a kind of badass way because like
hmm,
he just picks up Ed from the train and stuff. Like
yeah,
it's really cool because like the introduction in the anime is instantly in Lior in the church
hmm,
city where they fight
yeah,
the priest. Like that's immediately the introduction. Then they go to that coal mine, I think, and then there's an arc where they have a fight on the train, and then the
hmm,
series continues as you know it.
yeah.
Yeah, and
But
like
either way,
I know the train fight is in the 2003 anime, but I don't
yeah.
remember if the coal mine thing is in that as well.
Hmm.
I can't remember
I
that.
feel like it should be, considering the fact that like the issue with it was that they got ahead of the manga and
Yeah,
just.
I
But
don't
yeah,
know.
either way,
Check
Full
out
Metal
Fullmetal
Alchemist
Alchemist.
as a franchise, great.
Great.
It's probably somewhere in my top 20, maybe not top 10, but top 20, somewhere around there probably.
Yeah.
Still a great series. Just
Yeah. What?
I don't have that much emotional attachment to it. Is why it's not
Yeah.
in my like top 5
I
here.
think what I want to say, like last to close it off,
Hmm.
I think, in my opinion, from series I've read, I think Fullmetal Alchemist has the most cohesive story. Like it's not like,
That's
of
fair.
course it has twists and stuff. It doesn't have like that huge
Hmm.
twist in the series, but like I think
Yeah.
from start to finish, you just know it's an extremely solid story. The mangaka knew
Hmm.
what they wanted to do. They told their story and they finished the series. Like it's
Yeah.
just you know
It's
that
concise.
yeah, it's concise. You know the mangaka was standing on business with that series. Like
Yeah.
yeah, and that's what I really like. You see
Hmm.
the series doesn't really take detours or stuff. It just
Hmm.
it tells the story it wants to tell and then it finishes. And I really
Hmm.
enjoy that. It's the thing I enjoy mostly about the series, I think.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a great. It's a great story, very concise with its storytelling, at least
Yeah.
from what I've seen. And yeah, it's a great show. Check it out, manga, anime, whatever you want,
Yeah.
but check it out.
Yes.
So I guess we're on to my 2, right?
Yes, I think yes.
Okay. Hmm. I'm gonna do 2 2s for this one since you got to do 2 4s.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, I'll just go over very quickly since you don't know much about it. You know some because you've seen one of the animes, I think. Can you take a guess what it's going to be? Since I said you've seen some of it.
That's a good question. What series do I have? What
It
series
it's
haven't
a
I
show.
finished?
It's a show that you know I really enjoy.
Is
Well,
it?
it's a franchise. I'm gonna
Is
do a
it? Is
franchise.
it Code
It's a
Geass?
franchise. Oh no, that will come up though.
Then I don't know.
It's Fate.
Oh, Fate. Yes,
Yeah. Uh, you've seen some of
obviously. I should have
Zero.
guessed that. Yeah, I've seen like the first 7 or 8 episodes of Zero.
What didn't you enjoy about Zero?
It's not that I didn't enjoy it. I
Hmm.
think I just like kind of like I think when I started the series, I was just
Hmm.
not in the mood to watch something
If
like that. Like
yeah,
think it was mostly a mood problem,
hmm
and I
it
was just not getting into it.
yeah.
Like I liked what I
If
saw, but
hmm
I just didn't get into it.
I think you'd like Unlimited Blade Works better.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very different vibe. It's a very different kind of story. Similar themes, kind of, but like a very different main character. It's a lot more like hopeful feeling and a lot more like it definitely feels like your vibe
But
to me at
doesn't
least.
but does it have Iskander?
No,
Then it's automatically worse.
but it has Saber.
That doesn't this that doesn't excuse not having
That's all
Iskander.
that matters.
No, Iskander is the only character I liked in Zero.
I will tell you, like, I won't say there's any characters like Iskandar in mm, Unlimited Blade Works, but a lot of the characters are more like fun, I'd say,
Hmm.
compared to because like Zero is a very like bleak feeling show. It doesn't
Yeah,
like it's very dark. Unlimited Blade Works like is very it brings out the same bleak things, but in a positive, like uplifting note.
hmm.
And a lot of the characters feel a lot more like lively, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, I get that.
Uh, I guess to like, so I'm picking it as a franchise because it's hard to pick one specific thing from Fate.
Hmm.
'Cause just I'm a fan of everything that I've seen, and I'm trying to like a mid-level Fate fan, I guess I'd say, because I've only consumed like stuff from Grand Order, and then also Zero, Unlimited Blade Works, Stay Night, and Heaven's Feel, and Apocrypha, which isn't really that much on the grand scheme of things. Uh, so yeah, I just enjoy it as a franchise. It has a lot of like really great characters, a lot of really fun characters, just fun story, good story. Zero is also great. It's very different to the rest, but it's also what was my introduction, which I know a lot of Fate fans feel iffy about.
It was also my
Uh,
introduction.
yeah, which I recommended it to. Well, I I recommended it to, not thinking about like, ooh, what would you like more? Just like, oh, what do I think has more mass appeal? And I think for a lot of people, Zero does have more mass appeal. But I think for you specifically, you would enjoy Unlimited Blade Works more,
Yeah, that could
just
be.
because it's more your vibe.
Hmm.
It's like you don't have to like with Zero. You were like, oh, I wasn't really in for like that dark tone at the
Mm.
time.
I don't think
Um,
that's the issue. I think was just not into
it's
the.
very serious. It's
Mm,
very like you have to like be
yeah,
really actively watching it
yeah, and like I just
from the
wasn't
start.
really invested in the characters.
Yeah.
Like I just like again, Iskander was the only
Mhm.
character I really enjoyed. The rest
Yeah.
was just kind of I don't know. And like
Mhm.
especially if you have a series like or like yeah a series like Fate or like Fate Zero in that sense where you skip often between perspectives and you have
Yeah.
literally only one character you care about. It's just really tedious.
Unlimited Blade Works isn't like that. It's very much centered on one main character.
Mm.
Kind of two, but mostly one. And Zero, as it progresses, it'll focus more on one character. Uh, and it'll only really go back and forth between the antagonist of the series later on. But I think the reason why it does it at the beginning is just because a lot of Fate Zero is like making sure you learn everyone's perspective and why each perspective and belief has its own flaws and its own things wrong with them. And that's kind of the whole thing with Zero to me at the start, at least. But I think you would enjoy it if you finished it. But I do think if you had a hard time getting through it, watch Unlimited Blade Works first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and maybe
And now, yeah.
give it another chance at one point.
Uh, I'd say before you give it another chance, probably check out Unlimited Blade Works first. I just think you'd
Yeah,
because well,
I meant this like
the,
more in the series itself. Like,
Mhm.
I want to give Fate
Yeah.
as a series a chance again, but like not
Mhm.
now at least.
Yeah, I'll say uh, there's not. It's technically not reoccurring characters, but it is like Unlimited Blade Works is the it was released first. It came from a visual novel, and Zero came afterwards.
Yeah.
And it's by a different author, the same person who made Madoka Magica,
Oh, I
same
see.
director. Yeah, uh, but same director, or I'm not sure. Something. They were a big worker on it. Gen or Bucci or Bochi, something like that. Uh, but yeah, if you, it'll still help you. Like if you do finish Unlimited Blade Works, enjoy it. I think it'll help you get more into Zero too. Is
Mm-hmm.
what I'm trying to say. But now for my other three, I'm on three, right?
Mm-hmm. No, two.
Okay,
Two.
two. Now for my other two, uh, my second two, it will be. I'm deciding if I want this as my two or one. It's gonna be Code Geass.
Mm.
Code
Oh,
Geass is also one of like my favorite series, one of my favorite. Uh, I haven't seen. I've only seen Lelouch the Rebellion, the original show. I haven't seen all the other stuff that's coming out, although I do kind of want to check it out.
I've heard that it's
But it's
bad.
just like, uh, I think it depends because there's a lot of stuff that's come out. I've heard some of the movies aren't great, but some of the new show that's coming out is good so far. But to watch the new show, you have to watch the movies, I think. So, we'll see if I check it out at all. But Code Geass is a interesting story because it's it's spotty at times. It's definitely times where it's like not very consistent. But at the same time, I think the story it's telling, the main character, and the themes that go along with the rival Suzaku, I think both their characters are phenomenally written, and like their relationship is just a phenomenal. They just have a phenomenal dynamic. Lelouch, I think, is an amazing main character. I think he's an amazing protagonist. I feel like a lot of people misunderstand him a little bit. They because well, yes, he is arrogant. At the same time, I wouldn't. I feel like he always does have like. I don't think he ever had selfish intentions completely. He had vengeful maybe at one point, at a lot of points actually, but I don't think he was ever like just in it for himself. A lot of it was just like these are. I don't really consider what I'm saying spoilers because it's
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
describing his
I
character.
think
A
that's
lot of
just
it was like
things you know anyway.
yeah. A lot of it was just him fighting for his sister and fighting to just reveal stuff. And in that, he ended up doing a lot of good, and he used other people to get where he wanted. Uh, like the ends justify the means for him. But at the same time, I feel like at the end of the day, he was doing a lot of good. And then at the end, he kind of changes motivation. At the end, he like changes his character and he makes a very pivotal shift that I feel like a lot of people don't really acknowledge completely. But I think he's a great main character, great story. Uh, there are some like slight plot contrivances, I guess I'll say is like the only big detriment for the story, I think. There's some stuff that just happens because it should happen for the story to continue in the way that it wants. But overall, great story, great characters, just a great show.
Yeah.
And the best ending, I think, in anything I've seen or read.
and and here we are again with me saying the same thing as before. I really couldn't get into Code Geass. I want to give it another shot,
Hmm.
but I watched the first 3 or 4 episodes, and like I just couldn't really like the world and setting just
Hmm.
didn't click with me.
What'd you watch then?
Hmm?
What'd you watch it in?
I think it. I watched it in sub.
I'd say watch it in dub. I think the characters are a lot more charismatic.
Yeah, but like
Some of the some of the voices for like the side characters can be a bit goofy, but I think the characters are a lot more charismatic in the dub.
yeah, I think the German dub is also very good if I remember
Yeah.
correctly. But like that's the thing. I want to give it another shot at one point maybe, but
Hmm.
like I really couldn't get into it, and like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been years since I tried it, so I maybe
Hmm.
just try it again at one point. But like
I'll say, I will say, I think you should try it again. Try it in dub and just like try and push through the first couple episodes because they can be a bit hard to get into, I'd say, for
yeah, but like again,
most
I'm
people.
just like just not
Hmm.
the biggest fan of the setting in general. Like it's just I don't
Like,
know.
what about the setting?
Like this kind of sci-fi ass uh
Do you
just
like Gundam?
no, not at all.
Hmm.
I'm like
That's unfortunate.
I really don't like Mecha or Gundam in general. So that's like probably the biggest issue.
Like,
Like I'm not.
I didn't think I would either, but I think the thing you learn quickly about Gundam and just like a lot of mecha shows is that they're all politics. None of them are like active. Like the cool robots fighting are like just a bonus thing.
Yeah,
If you like that, you like that. But the main thing for like Gundam and Code Geass is like a lot of politics and a lot of like characters,
yeah, but like the
clash of ideologies.
but that's like the thing. The cool mecha fighting
Uh huh.
doesn't feel like cool mechas fighting to me. Most
Yeah.
of the time, once that happens, it's just like I don't. I want to get back
Mhm.
to the plot. Like
Yeah. No. But
stuff like
yeah.
that feels more like a punishment to me than
Yeah.
like actually a reward.
Yeah. What I'm trying to get at is that it's not. It won't focus on that too much in the latter episodes.
Okay.
Like there's a lot of the show is not in the actual mechs. With Gundam, it is. There's like the mecha fighting is happening simultaneously as everything else. But with Code Geass, it happens. It definitely does, but it'll be like for maybe 2 minutes of fighting, and then the rest is just like characters strategizing and like talking and just stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'd say give it another shot. If you still don't like it, that's fine. It's not for everyone, definitely. There's also like a bit of fan service, which I don't mind. I don't think it's that bad of a thing. Just makes it hard to
I
recommend to people who aren't into anime.
I just know that one artwork. I think it was a poster for something of
I think I know which one you're
Lelouch.
talking about.
What?
I think I know which one you're talking
Like
about.
that one poster where Lelouch is just grabbing Cece's ass.
Yeah,
Like that
yeah,
one. I
I,
think you know what I'm talking about.
yeah.
Like that one artwork is. Every time I see it, I'm just like, this is not hot or anything. This is just goofy.
Yeah,
Like this
no,
is just
the show can be like that sometimes.
like he's sitting there like a pimp, and
Mm.
she's like, I think he's like sitting on him. I don't remember
She's
exactly
like,
how it looks.
I think she's standing like in front of him
Oh,
while he's sitting.
she's standing. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
At least he's like sitting there like the biggest pimp ever, and like just grabbing her ass. And like it's so funny to me. Every time I see it,
yeah.
I just laugh because it's really funny.
There's definitely a bit of that in the show, uh, but it's still like pretty solid, pretty concise. One
Yeah.
second, I'm gonna have to mute myself.
Okay. Um. Yeah. I just quickly like talk over this intermission because I think if I just cut here, it would be like I don't know, random. I don't know. I want to like um entertain you in this intermission period. I don't know much to talk about except for I can't get into Code Geass, and I don't want to like take my number two away before Silver's back. but you can. I can do this for a quick ad break. If you if you like this podcast, leave a like and a comment below, and tell us your favorite series, and if you like the podcast and what we should change about it. If you're here still, we are like one
All right,
minute
I'm
and
back.
40 into the podcast.
I'm
I'm
back.
hi. Real quick
So,
to continue my ad break.
mhm.
If
Oh,
you
we got a sponsor.
no, I just
Oh,
advertised ourselves.
okay.
If you're still here after 1 hour and 40 minutes, um, thanks. And
Yeah,
leave a comment. Leave a comment what you liked, what we could change in the future, what we could improve on. I know my quality is probably not like the best, like not high quality podcast stuff.
yeah,
But in general, if you have things we can work on, and
yeah. Leave comments on like
yes,
anything you think we should do, any
yeah,
ideas you have. If you want to see us do something like as like a game or something, feel free to comment it down below. Uh, and yeah, just let us know what you think of the podcast so far. If you're enjoying it, thanks for sticking around. And yeah,
yeah,
leave any criticisms, leave anything you want to say. Uh, Please be nice, don't be mean, and
yes,
I will cry. And I guess we can get back to where we're at.
yes,
And yeah, I guess we'll just finish off with saying Kogias, pretty good show. Not for everyone, but one of my favorites.
yeah.
Check it out.
Check it out. Check out God Gears.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. And I guess we're at year 2.
Yes, my too. It's easy from now on. Again, like
Mhm.
the three, the 1, 2, and 3 are pretty much on the same
Mhm.
level for me, so I don't make much difference. But number 2, I would say to mention is Shaman King.
Mhm.
What a shocker! What a shocker!
Never would have guessed.
I think everyone who knows me knows I love Shaman King. And
Mhm.
I constantly yap about it. If there's something like to recommend to people, or like if people ask me what manga should I read, I'm like Shaman King. Like I've made a pretty in like not in depth, but I made a like short review recently on
Mhm.
that that manga dude's channel. And maybe
Yeah,
we link his video in the comments below,
we could do that.
so you can check that out, because I went a bit in depth about Shaman King on that video,
Mhm.
um, because I explained a bit like why I like it, what the story is about, etc. So I don't have to rephrase all of that here. But in general, it's a phenomenal manga series, a phenomenal battle shonen in my opinion. The characters are great. The art is really fantastic. It's one of my favorite art styles of any manga ever. The ending is really good in my opinion. I think I don't know what the common sense about Shaman
Mhm.
King is. I don't know if
I
people
wouldn't know.
like, because I only interact with the fandom, and I think the fandom really likes this ending. I don't
Mhm.
interact much with with other people outside of it, so I don't know what the common um, perception of the ending is. But I think it's really really good, because it's different. I don't won't say anything more, but it's different to other series,
Yeah.
um, especially what you expect from a battle shonen. So I really like that. Then you have a lot of sequels to get into once you like the series, like if you finish with it, because it's like only 200 chapters. So
Yeah.
you could get into the sequel series, or like, into the spin-offs and stuff, because all of them are actually canon. So that's really cool, because you have more media if you want to enjoy more, but the
Mhm.
manga is still a concluded story. Um,
Yeah.
in general, Shaman King is just great. Huge fan of
Yeah.
it. Like
I
it's
haven't consumed any media of it, but you've told me a lot, and I will check it out for your sake eventually.
yes, because you need to. Like I think it's just that's my most common point talking
Mhm.
about Shaman King is I think it's a battle shonen on similar level as other series that came around at that time. Like it
Yeah.
came around during the time of the big three and stuff.
Mhm.
So that's the thing. Like it's on, in my opinion, on similar level to like Naruto or stuff. but
Yeah.
it's just like because of the overwhelming quality of stuff that came out. Because like
Mhm.
during that time, there were like JoJo was still in Jump. We had the big
Yeah.
three. We had Gintama. We had Hunter x Hunter. We had Yu-Gi-Oh. We had all that stuff. So
Mhm.
Shaman King just got kind of drowned a bit. So
Yeah.
and also, which also didn't help, was that it was cancelled. Um, at
Yeah.
first,
That
like
can hurt it.
yeah, the first release of Shaman King was cancelled in its Jump released, and the proper ending only came like 3 or 4 years afterwards. So
Hmm.
because the mangaka went back and wrote the ending anew because like it just got cancelled. So yeah, that's why it's like not many people talk about it and stuff, and
Hmm.
don't include it much in discussions. And now it's kind of like it's not like a super hidden gem or stuff. Like people still
Yeah.
know Shaman King, but don't not that many people have actually read it. So
We could do an episode talking about like hidden gem anime.
yeah, definitely. I think we both have quite a bit to talk about in that regard.
Yeah. But yeah,
Yep.
I'll definitely check it out. And audience, if you enjoyed Luden's introduction to it, check it out. If you've seen it, then I hope you enjoyed his rant.
Yeah. Oh, I
And
have to say, really important,
mhm,
really important. Shaman King has two anime adaptations, and both of
yeah,
them are ass.
that's
Don't
what I've
watch
heard.
them. Don't watch it.
That's
Like
what I've heard.
the 2001 anime is, in my opinion, pretty good, but
Hmm.
like from the halfway point, it tells its own story. So it has
Yeah.
nothing really. It's kind of like Full Metal Alchemist, the
Hmm.
2003
Just
version.
worse.
Yeah, like it's just tells its own story at one point, and
Yeah.
that story isn't that good. But it's fine. It's a fine show. But
Hmm.
the new anime is just completely ass. Like it's just doing such a disservice to the manga. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, like and also don't watch it because literally the first scene in episode 1 spoils the only big plot twist in the series. I don't know what they smoked to get that idea, but for some
Hmm.
reason they spoil the one big plot twist of the series at the start of the 2021, like the 21 anime.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what decision this is, but yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah.
still really upsetting me because I don't get it, like at
Hmm.
all. Yeah,
Well, that's Shaman King.
that's
Any
Shaman
other
King.
notes you want to add to it?
No, because like I could go more into in depth and I could talk more about the series and the characters and stuff. But again, I
Hmm.
just link that manga dude's video in the description so you can
Yeah.
check it out. Because not only because of me, but because the video itself is just it's about underrated manga, and there are a
Yeah.
lot of good examples of underrated manga in there. We made like a little collaboration thingy where a few content creators came together and like told talked about underrated stuff. So check that
Yeah.
out if you want to hear me yap about Shaman King.
Yeah. Go check that out. Uh, if you like hearing Luden talk, which if you're this far in the video, you probably do, unless you're here for me, which in that case, thank you. I really appreciate it.
But I don't think
But
you are. You're probably here because
yeah,
of me. Because
I know,
Silver kinda sucks.
I know. It's alliteration, silver sucks. Uh, but I guess we can get into my number one with that.
Yes.
And before we get into my number one, I'm going to give a quick shout out to a show that I wanted to include, and I feel bad that I haven't included, but I'm just going to say it because I like it, and it was really close. And honestly, I might switch out my 5 or 4 for it, but it's too late now. So we're just going to go over it really quickly. Death Parade. Great show.
Oh my god, yes, 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 yes. I have the
Great
same
show.
stance on the show.
I really wanted to include it, but it slipped my mind
Yeah,
earlier, and now it's too late. So I'm just going to say now, Death Parade. Really love it. Great
yeah,
show. Check it out.
fantastic.
Amazing animation. Really short, just 12 episodes. You can rush through it.
Yeah,
Check it out.
like if
Uh,
we
the,
made like a specific list of top 5 anime, I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure, like, because we make a mix of anime and manga, I didn't include
Yeah,
it. But if we made a specific top five anime, I would have included it as
yeah.
well because Death Parade is so incredibly good. It's yeah, yeah. I have nothing more to add than Death Parade is peak. It's so good.
My
Yeah,
actual number one is One Piece.
yeah. Okay.
One Piece, one of my favorite. Just it's an amazing story so far. I'm mostly caught up. I haven't read the latest arc. I
Yeah,
like to let the arc happen, then read it.
yeah.
Uh,
I'm also
but
not caught up.
yeah,
I'm just like I don't know, like 15, 20 chapters into the arc. Like I'm a few chapters behind right now.
yeah. I read like the first two, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Because once an arc starts, I usually like to let it play out. That's what I'm doing with Chainsaw Man Part Two. I'm letting it finish before I actually read it.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, One Piece, it's over 1,000 chapters, but I've loved almost every minute of it except Skypiea. I know Skypiea has mixed reviews. I'm one of the ones that doesn't like it.
I'm
It
one of the
almost made
ones
me
who
drop
likes
One
it.
Piece. Yeah. So look, you get diversity of opinion.
Yeah.
It almost made me drop One Piece, but well, not by itself. It with Foxy being right afterwards is what made me almost drop One Piece.
Yeah.
Uh, I
Understandable
like
though. That
I
part is
I
understandable.
yeah, I slogged through Skypiea and then I got to Foxy and I was like, what is this? What I was tired. I like dropped it for a year and then finally got back into it and like it became one of my favorite stories. I binged it all in like a month. It it's just a phenomenal story, phenomenal characters. Sanji and Law are my top two, my
Same.
goat, my favorites.
Same.
Sanji I just find really relatable. Law
Because you're a simp?
I'm really
Or
attractive. Yeah, and he also has a great backstory. He's a great character.
that's true.
Robin's also great. Robin has another one of my favorite backstories, favorite characters.
Yeah.
Just great show overall. Really recommend. Like, just it can be hard, but push through it. It'll be
Yeah.
worth it, in my opinion.
That that's the
Yeah,
thing.
One
Like
Piece.
I agree with you on One Piece. The thing is, One Piece is one of the few series. I have two series in that regard that are One
Hmm.
Piece and Attack on Titan. I can't rank them. Like they have such
Yeah,
a special standing for me that like I love them. I love them really really much, but I can't
hmm
put them into any top list. Like
yeah,
with One Piece, it's like I've been reading it for over 10 years actively now. So
yeah,
I'm like, uh, I've made breaks in between. Like, right now, I'm on one of those
yeah.
phases where I'm like, I get kind of tired out by the pacing of the
hmm
story. So I just take a break. And I do
Yeah,
that I think every 1 or 2 years, I just take a few months off.
yeah,
So, because it can be tedious to read it
yeah.
weekly. Um,
I caught up with it like near the end of Wano, like before
yeah.
I want. Slight spoiler since it's already been spoiled, but since Gear 5, I was like a little bit before that.
Hmm.
I say slight spoiler, but everyone's heard about it.
Everyone in
Crunchyroll is like
Yeah.
advertising it,
Everyone in their
so
mother
it's
knows
like,
Gear 5, which is a
yeah,
shame. Which is a shame because it was
yeah,
genuinely such a good twist in the story.
yeah. So like, I caught up like maybe a couple months before Gear 5 happened, and it's just like a great story, a great adventure, a great
Hmm.
journey, and really fun characters, a
Yeah,
lovable cast. I love all the Straw Hats. I
like
know some people don't like some of them. I love them all.
yeah, like
And
it's.
yeah,
I don't hate any of the Straw Hats, but there are definitely
mhm.
some I like way more and others I like way
Yeah.
less.
I mean, I definitely have my favorites, but there's
Yeah,
none that I'm like.
but like,
Uh,
there's
all of
just
them are
one
so important to the crew.
there's one I just actively dislike, and that's
Who?
Frankie.
Frankie?
I just don't
No.
like Frankie. He's just
So you're not. So you're not a Frobin shipper?
no, not really.
Oh,
I
that's
genuinely I
unfortunate.
don't really ship this Straw Hats. I don't.
Guys, this is the last episode of the podcast. Hope you enjoyed the run. It was a
like,
great run.
um, like in general,
I'm joking.
I don't really ship the Straw
Hmm
Hats because like
Yeah,
I don't
they're
know.
the only ones I ship because they feel like the goofy father and the
Yeah, I get what you mean. Like with
yeah
Frankie, I just can't really get into his character. He often just kind
yeah.
of
I mean, he's not my favorite, but I definitely do like enjoy him.
like I don't know. To me, his whole shtick just gets kind of
Hmm.
boring. Like I don't know.
I get
Yeah,
what you mean.
yeah. But like,
I just enjoy him. I think he's fun.
and like
Uh,
that's the
maybe
thing.
it's because I'm American.
Like and that's like the thing. The next least favorite of mine. Like with
Uh huh.
Frankie, I still like. I actively dislike him. I don't like him. But like my
Hmm.
next least favorite I have would be Usopp. But I still
Hmm.
really like Usopp. Like that's the
Yeah.
difference. Like
Yeah.
if I put
We
him
could
at the
do a straw hat ranking video.
yeah, like if I put him
Uh,
at the bottom, people always say, "Oh, not Usopp, he's so cool," and I'm like, "Yes,
yeah.
I agree," but like I just like the other ones more. With Frankie, it's
Yeah.
just like, "Ah, yeah, fuck Frankie."
I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinion,
Yeah, that's the
even
great
if their
thing.
opinion is wrong.
That's the great thing about this podcast because
Yeah.
we have a lot of very common interests, but we have
Hmm.
very different opinions
Yeah.
on said interests. So you
Yeah.
get a
If we
lot of
do a hot takes,
diversity.
if we do a hot takes episode, I'm getting us canceled.
Yeah, I know. There are some, even though there are some hot takes, I totally agree with you. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, like there are some I really like. I'm like, what the
The
fuck is wrong
episode
with you?
is made.
I didn't hear what you said. It was very loud, but I didn't hear what you said.
Because I did it right into the mic.
Yes,
But
can
Death
you?
Note is mid. I'm just throwing that out there.
That's the thing. I get that opinion. Like some of your hot takes, I'm like, that's just bullshit. With Death Note is mid, I understand. While I
Okay,
disagree,
name
I
one.
can
Name one. Name
understand it.
one. Which one? Which one? I can explain it. I can explain it thoroughly.
Wait, I have to think about one.
Okay, fine.
I
We'll do
don't
an
have to.
episode about
Yeah,
it then.
we
We'll do
will
an
do.
episode
We will
about it.
talk about that
Yeah.
in the future. Yeah, because like we still we're like almost 2 hours into this, and
Yeah.
yeah, I kind of want to wrap it up a bit so the
Yeah.
episode isn't too long. So I just go
Yeah.
to my number one. Once, oh, is there something about One Piece you still want to talk about?
No, I was good with that.
Okay. My number one is, even though the series is still ongoing, and will still be ongoing for a while, I think, is
Is it
Chainsaw
Chainsaw
Man.
Man?
Chainsaw Man.
Oh,
Yes.
really? I didn't
Yeah,
think it was your number one.
it is. Like, in my mind, Chainsaw Man
Hmm.
and Shaman King pretty much share that spot. And like
Yeah.
with Chainsaw Man, it really depends on how the series ends and
Yeah,
how it
that's
will
fair.
develop. Because like part two at the moment
Yeah.
is at this very weird state where I really love the series. I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
But like you have to let him cook. Like you have
Yeah.
to let Fujimoto cook because the story is currently at a point where everything is weird and you're like, what the
Yeah.
fuck is going on? But like that's
Yeah.
intentional. We had that with part one as well. Part one had really weird elements, and you're like, where is this going? So
Yeah.
like I just wait and see how it plays out because
Yeah.
it's good. But like
With
if we limit ourselves on Chainsaw Man Part One for the
mhm.
discussion at the moment, it's just such a great story. Like
Yeah.
it's so different from your standard battle shonen. Like I still don't know why Fujimoto classifies the story as a battle shonen because it really isn't. Like
I
I
mean,
don't
I don't think I think he just has it in Shonen
or
Jump.
like
I
or
don't think he
like he
classifies it as a battle shonen.
or like it gets classified as a battle shonen kinda.
Yeah.
But still,
I think that's just because the anime community doesn't really care about.
yeah.
They just throw labels on anything.
Yeah, and like in general, like it's the even though I know it's the targeted audience and not a genre, but still, like I
Yeah.
feel like Shaman King Chainsaw Man isn't really a shonen from its feel.
I get what you mean.
Like I feel it's supposed to be targeted to an older audience, kinda. Because like some
I
of the stuff
I
in there
understand
and
that.
some of the themes really aren't meant for like pre-18-year-olds. So
I
I don't
think
know.
a lot of it can be like. I think at least with part one, a lot of it can be like for like older teens
Yeah.
because it's like stuff that a lot of older teens are going through, and although they might not understand it
Hmm.
at the time, I feel like something that they can like recognize later on.
Yeah.
Uh,
But with
but yeah,
part
I
two,
also really enjoy Chainsaw Man.
but with part two, it's like it deals with a lot of more heavy themes. Like it in
Yeah,
general, the themes are the same as
hmm
part one, but like the
yeah,
way it depicts those theme and how it tackles it is way more
yeah,
subtle and sometimes way more crass. Um,
yeah,
and like yeah, but like Chainsaw Man is a great story. It's really fucked up. It's if you don't have never seen Chainsaw Man and have never read it, like it's I don't think there is something quite like that aside from other Fujimoto works. Um, it's very different, but it's very great. If you're into something that's more like a bit gory, a bit like actually crazy. I don't mean that like in like oh this is such a crazy twist or stuff like in that
Jujutsu
awful.
Kaisen.
Yeah like if you want a series where while you read it you think the author is genuinely crazy. Like
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
I
mean this like
Fujimoto is insane, and I love
food.
him for it.
Yeah,
Like, and
Fujimoto
all
is
his
like
quotes are great.
yeah, like that's Fujimoto is. I'm convinced at this point that this man is has lost his marbles. Like the, it's and that's why he's such an interesting writer. He has such a good concept of humans in general, I think, and
Hmm
how the human mind works. But he's like just complete bonkers. Like
Yeah,
I have no other way to describe it. Fujimoto is genuinely insane, and that's why his works are so interesting to watch. So please give it a try if you haven't read
yeah,
it. But I think at this point, Chainsaw Man is so popular that at least half of the people listening probably have seen or read the series. But
yeah. That's a
still,
fair assumption.
yeah, but still,
Uh,
please read it.
yeah, I am not caught up with part two. I read the first couple chapters and decided to wait till it finishes, but I loved part one. I want to check out his other works. I still haven't, not
I
even the one shots yet.
I really can recommend the one shots. It's
But
um.
I do plan on getting into them eventually. I just like want to take my time with it. One of them
Mhm.
got an movie announced, so I
Yeah.
think I might wait for the movie and then see read it afterwards if the movie doesn't like vibe with me.
The,
And I still might read it either way. Uh,
I'm really excited for Look Back because this has like
yeah,
potential to be like an 11 out of 10 movie
yeah,
if it's like if it follows the vision of Fujimoto. Like I'm
yeah,
really excited to watch that. Um, yeah.
yeah. So
In general, like I think I can give a recommendation not just to Chainsaw Man, but like
just
Fujimoto.
Fujimoto's works,
Yeah, I've at this point I've read everything but
except Fire Punch.
Fire Punch. I'm 2 volumes into Fire Punch. I'm reading it
Oh,
right now.
really?
Yeah, I'm
Hmm
reading it currently, but like I'm reading it at a very slow pace because
Yeah.
I feel Fire Punch is with Chainsaw Man. Most people have
mhm,
just binged it. With Fire Punch,
Yeah.
I really have to take it one volume at a time because it's often
That's
a
fair.
lot to take in. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm reading it at a very slow pace, but it's also really great. And his one shots are also amazing. Goodbye Ari and Look Back are two of the
hmm
best things I have ever read. Period.
Yeah.
Like as especially Look Back. Goodbye Ari is from an artist's standpoint
hmm
amazing because the stuff he does with his paneling and in general the art is
Yeah.
crazy. It's really good. Um, Look Back is from its story pretty much
hmm
the best thing I have ever read. Like it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's very grounded in the story it wants to tell, and it's
hmm
like I think the if you like without telling anything about the story because I think that takes away a bit of the story. Like the
hmm
two main characters are basically both self inserts for Fujimoto. Like if you
Yeah.
put their names together, you get Fujimoto because the
hmm
I don't remember the other girl's name. That one girl is named Fujino, and the other one irgendwas something like Moto. I don't remember it.
Yeah.
And like if you put them together, they're Fujimoto. So like both of them are like halves to Fujimoto's self insert, and like
Mhm.
the way he tells the story through those characters is really interesting. And like, yeah, like Look Back is genuinely crazy, and I can't wait for the movie because
Yeah.
I think from what I've seen, the movie will do it justice.
Yeah, it
But
looks like it's gonna be good.
yeah, it looks like it's gonna be really, really, really good. And if it does, it could be like insane. Like, yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, check out Fujimoto is kind of the end note
yeah,
on that.
yeah,
But I think it's about time we start wrapping stuff up.
yeah.
How
We are
far are we
two
in?
hours. We are at two
Yeah.
hours
So
before.
this was a bit of a long-winded first episode. We'll
Yeah,
usually probably try and get it down to 1 hour to 1 hour and a half, but there will
yeah,
be probably a good amount of 2 hour episodes too.
yeah.
So
I think we it's good for the first episode that we get into the
any
gist of it
links
and
or
stuff.
anything you want to follow us on any other media, social media or something will be in the description.
Yes.
I do have a YouTube channel, although I don't really upload on it anymore. I plan on starting a new one, and I have a lot of videos planned. I just haven't. I've been busy with life and stuff,
Haven't
so I
we
wanted
also
to start.
recorded a video together?
Yeah, we have. I still have that. I just haven't uploaded it yet. For I think I just want to edit it down a little bit and do some stuff with it.
Yeah.
Uh, but life's been hectic, so things have gotten in the way. So I just wanted to do this with a good friend of mine
Hello.
because I thought it'd be fun.
Yeah.
And yeah,
It
Ludin, anything you want to say to close off?
not really. Other than we try to keep it shorter the few next few times, but like we have to get into the gist of things and like try to get into the groove. So expect that that maybe the first 2 3 episodes will be a bit longer, but we try
Yeah,
to get like cohesive structure and stuff. We will get better
yeah,
at this. And if you
yeah.
watched until now, really big thank you from me because like yeah, we're
Me
just
as well.
two people yapping, and it's cool if people actually
Mhm.
enjoy us yapping. So yeah, yeah,
All right. Well, then I guess we'll wrap things up there. This
yes,
was the Witless Weebs podcast. You know what to do in the like, subscribe, all that stuff. I don't need to explain it to you.
I did it in the ad
Um,
break.
oh,
I
well
did
then,
it
thank
in
you, Ludin.
yeah, no problem.
Definitely leave a comment if there's anything you want to tell us, anything you
Yes,
want us to maybe change, improve upon. Just say that you enjoyed it. Say
yes.
that you thought it was okay. Say that you thought that I have the best voice ever and you could listen to me all day. Please say
Say
that. I'd really
say that
appreciate it.
silver is stinky. Say leave a comment saying silver is stinky.
Don't do that. Do that to Looney. He's thinking. But again, thank you. Thank you for watching. And this is us saying goodbye.
Yeah, bye bye.
Bye.